What's up, guys? Ruben the Builder here, and Dave Ramsey posted a video on his guide to building your own home, and he had some really cool things to say. I'd love to share you guys my perspective from an actual builder who's building homes, and see where we go with this. So let's start off from the very beginning, and I'll give you guys my thoughts.
There's 3 and maybe 4 things you must do if you're going to build a house. Maybe 5, but I'll walk you through. Here's what we do, okay? There's some sub pieces, so 3, maybe 4. The maybe 4 is if you've already picked out the property and bought it, and you've already got your builder, and you're doing kind of an independent, standalone type of a deal, then we will pass on number 1. But number 1 is if you haven't, then I would get a good buyer's agent realtor.
So definitely he starts off with the most important step, and I think is finding land. So how you go about that and finding the land, whether you find a builder, go into a subdivision, whatever that looks like, or finding a buyer's agent and then helping you find that land, is actually very important. You want to make sure that this deal pencils, and you want to make sure that it's on the right lot. And so what I would recommend, he's saying, go on his website, get an agent. But what I would actually do is, instead of doing that, go on Redfin or Zillow. You don't need an agent for this specific portion, and then filter out new construction builds by sold, pending, or active, and see who those agents are and see who comes up the most often. You can, on the listing page, you might see on the right hand side, you might see, schedule is showing. You don't want to click that. What you want to look for is find that listing agent. When you find that listing agent, you can talk to somebody who actually has experience in the new construction game and building. And then from there, that's actually going to help you a lot to find the right type of deal and figure out the numbers, which would be the next step. Let's see if that's what he breaks into.
ELP, and get them to represent you through the whole transaction with the builder, help you navigate with the builder if you haven't already selected it. So if you're going in where somebody's building houses, a builder's got a subdivision going, and they're doing a whole bunch of deals, and they got houses popping up everywhere, and you're going to run down there and go, I want that one on that lot, and you haven't done that yet, and yeah, I'd get a realtor in your corner, a buyer's agent in your corner.
So what he's saying here, maybe not, but most of the time, if you're coming into a subdivision where a builder is building out a massive subdivision, you're not going to get massive savings. Really, the biggest benefit here is you get something new and fresh, and that's about it. You're not going to get a massive equity savings. If you go for his first option, like he said, a standalone, where you go find the lot, find your own buyer's agent, find somebody experienced, find a lot, and hire a builder for a builder fee instead to do it, now he's in your kind of back pocket instead of you're coming to him and in his playing field and buying a house that he's already going to be building, and his profits locked in either in the lot. So he marked up the price of the lot. His profit's already in there. And so the day that you break ground on construction, he's already gotten paid, versus you setting up this deal, underwriting it and finding it, and then paying him a service fee instead of a profit fee.
Because they'll work as your liaison during the construction process, and they're going to work their butts off for their commission. The other 3 are with everybody, okay? There are 3 things that run a building job. A building job is simply a project. It's project management, that's all it is. If we're doing a project here, developing a product, we're writing a book with Chris Hogan on millionaires, okay? Chris Hogan's writing a book on millionaires. So that's a project. How do you do that? Well, projects all need basically 3 things. You need a blueprint, which is how the project is going to be built. What's the house going to be? You need a detailed blueprint that you and the builder are in agreement on. If you don't already have that, while you're drawing it, involve your builder with the architect. So the 2 of them are working together to develop the plan. So the architect's not drawing something stupid that's...
All right, so I would say he's saying there's 3 important things, and he's already talking about blueprints. Really, I think before even you're talking blueprints, there are definite rule of thumbs that you can factor in for cost to build and design of a house. And if it's your very first house that you're going to build, go with usually a plan that's already been built before. And so essentially you have less surprises on the build. And so before even talking about blueprints, I would definitely be talking numbers, pre-approval with your lender, seeing what you can afford, and then working backwards and be like, oh, okay, so this is roughly a 2,000 to 3,000 square foot house, for example. And now you can look for a plan of that size. So before getting into blueprints, you definitely want to get some kind of pre-approval first. That way you know which direction to head into.
It's ridiculous to be built or super expensive because they went to art class and don't know anything about building. Okay, so you got to have the balance in there. But if you've already got your blueprint, you got your blueprint. That's thing 1. This is one of the 3 pieces of paper that manages a building job. The second piece of paper is do not engage in a building project without a detailed schedule.
Absolutely great advice. But again, it's in the wrong order, because if you don't even know what you're pre-approved for, what you're going to build, the plan you're going to have, right, then why should you be even considering a schedule? A schedule comes way down the line in probably honestly like step 5 of my 7-step process. The reason is because he's right. You shouldn't only rely on an architect to design your building plan for you, because I've built houses before in the past for my personal self. I didn't fully understand beams and everything like that, right? And I ended up building the house for 50 to 100K more just because I had these massive open to below ceilings that I didn't understand what the true cost of them were. And looking back, it was literally just misexperience, not understanding what I was getting myself into probably 5 years ago. And so it's very important to understand a plan, design it, value engineered, and understand what you're getting yourself into. For example, a single story plan can cost more per square foot to build, even though a 2-story house is bigger. That doesn't mean that the 1-story house will cost more than the 2-story house. It just means that per square foot, the 1-story will cost more than the 2-story.
A schedule. When we built the homes that we built, we had a spreadsheet. And before we broke ground, we knew the week the trim carpenter was going to show up. We knew the week the painter was going to show up. We knew the week the roofer was going to show up. We knew the week the grading was going to be done on this or that. All, the bushes are going in on this date. We're going to get the CO, the certificate of occupancy.
100% valuable. 100%.
Decorator's being a decorator, right? I'm like, no, this is Dave Ramsey building this house, kiddo. So put the cheaper carpet downstairs. Nobody goes down there anyway. And get your dadgum flooring budget back into, because we're not going a bazillion dollars over a flooring budget.
Guys, my recommendation is, when you're listening to Dave Ramsey, he is so right. Budgets, I don't fully grasp what he's saying right now, but what I do know is that when you're building out your budget, it's hard to stay on it and not make change orders. And so I'm assuming he's about to get into and talking about change orders. Guys, change orders can make a project become a disaster. So let's hear what he says.
And so you can build a house on budget, on schedule, and then every Friday we met with the builder and we looked at the blueprint, the schedule, and the budget, and made sure everything that was done that week was lining up with all of that. The blueprint, the schedule, and the budget. The blueprint, the schedule, and the budget every Friday morning. And of course, we had money lined up, so we paid them every Friday morning. And they were able to pay their subs. Everybody's happy. Everything stays on track. We finished the houses early and under budget, the last 2 houses we built. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine building a house for me? How big a pain in the butt that is. But you know what? We didn't change 63 things during the way. The more change orders you do, the more you're going to lose your butt.
I knew it. I called it. Change order.
It's hard on the builder. It's hard on the subs. It's hard on the schedule. It's hard on the budget. So make your mind up and stick with it. We did 2-3 change orders on both houses. I mean, almost no change orders. We had some big stuff we got in there. We went, no, this isn't right. We got to change this. And it was on us. And then it's on me. And then mixed in this is you, as the person building the stinking house, have to do your job. And that is stay ahead of them on the selections.
Oh, this kills me. So, selections. Let's see where he goes with this. But guys, ultimately, if you're working with a builder, please make up your mind, make your decisions, and stick to them. I understand you can have some minor changes, but for example, if lighting is coming up in 1 month and you haven't ordered your fixtures and there might be potential delays, and essentially the electrician shows up and there's no light fixtures on site, that is a massive blow to your project, your interest payments, and everything like that. Because let's just say there's a delay. One time we waited for a powder sink for practically 2 months. In relative terms, that sink cost an extra $6,000 in interest because it delayed the whole project. Sure, we worked around it and we made it work and we had extra trip charges and all that kind of stuff. But massively big, high level kind of picture here. It's important. Please have your selections picked out so that the builder can have the material on site and the subcontractors are moving smoothly through the project. It's very important.
When you don't go pick out the carpet, you don't go pick out the light fixtures, you don't go pick out the faucets, you don't go pick out the plumbing fixtures, months and months and months ahead of when you need to, then you're slowing the whole thing down, and then you go, I had a bad experience building, because you were so freaking indecisive you were impossible to work with. Every time I give this talk, builders all go, God, I wish I could get all my people to do this. I'm like, you need to demand it, because you stay mad at your builder and it's your fault. Now, sometimes builders are doofuses too, like any other business. But if you've got a quality realtor helping you lead your way through this, and you'll do the budget, the blueprint, and the schedule.
Okay, so that's kind of the reason why he's offering or kind of giving you the idea to use a realtor in the very beginning. If they're an experienced new construction realtor, they're going to know the exact process and the layout, including finishes and etc. And so that makes perfect sense now. So in my situation and what I teach is I would replace that realtor with just a consultant, somebody that understands the entire big picture process. And your builder can definitely do this process for you ultimately if they have some kind of design team on board. But you definitely want somebody in your back pocket in the corner telling you, hey, this is what's coming. Just like he said, if the builder is not providing you a schedule, around step 5 of the process, you should be kind of on your tippy toes, because you need to hold him accountable, and he needs to provide you something that he can follow a map. And just like he said earlier, I know when the finished carpenter is going to show up 4 months from now and the exact day. Sure, there might be delays 1 to 2 weeks depending on the situation and weather and whatever, but ultimately you have a very precise, he's going to be coming in 1 to 2 weeks around this date.
Budget the blueprint and the schedule, manage to that, and you stay ahead of them. Don't you be the problem. You make your decisions. A friend of mine took him an extra year to build his house because he couldn't get his wife to go pick out the crap. I mean, I'm having a fit. Hey, she couldn't make up her mind. I'm going to kill her. What are you talking about? She can't make up her mind. A year? Well, we enjoy the process. I don't enjoy process. I want to get
a year. And if you have a loan on it too, I'm sure Dave Ramsey is against that, but if you have a loan on it, you're screwed.
Done. I'm like, why am I building a house? Because it's a game? No, I'm building it to move into it. So you stay ahead of them. You don't stop them from anything. You don't cause. You don't get in the way. You don't be a problem child. And don't you go over on the site and start telling subs stuff's wrong. You're not running the job. The general contractor's
Definitely don't do that. If you're doing that and talking to the subs directly and the builders out of the loop, you can just guarantee that your project is not going to go the way you want it to go.
A country music girl in our area was building a house, and she and her decorator changed everything. It took them an extra year, and they spent an extra $4 million on an $8 million. It was supposed to be a $4 million house, it ended up being $8 million, and it took them an extra year to build it. All because she changed everything. She built a stupid house twice as she was going up. Just change. The whole house is change orders. I mean, it's ridiculous. No, that's a dumb way to build a house. It drives everybody crazy.
So, guys, my recommendation here is not only taking double the cost and double the time to build the house, but hey, on your very first home build, I know it might be against every grain in your body, but just build one house once with the least amount of changes. Understand the full process. Guys, this is a game that you can play for life and build massive wealth, building a house on the side, with whatever job you're doing, business you're running. And so just understand, hey, I will build more houses and I will get a better understanding, and you can make your changes on the future houses. Because of the IRS tax code, I believe it's 121, you can get up to $500,000 of no capital gains if you live there for 2 years. You should consider playing this game every 2 years, pretty much for the rest of your life, as long as this exists. And so getting so consumed by this one house and making it exactly perfect the way I want to can potentially throw all your profit out the window. Just like this house, she'll never sell it for $8 million, which is already insane house. But point is like, build it smart, build it on budget, like he says, build it per the builder's schedule that he agreed to himself, and then you're gonna win at the end. And number one, you'll make tax-free great profit, but number two, you'll also get to do it again, and it'll be a really nice bonus check in 2 years.
I mean, I'm having a fit.
I'm having a fit. So, yes, you should build your house. I feel like Dave is very smart, and what he said was very valuable information. However, I would definitely change the order and kind of what he put it in, just because in the 7-step process, there's a lot of wisdom in the madness and the way that things go. Because you shouldn't be necessarily designing plans, because if you find a lot where the plans don't fit, then and you have the budgets and schedules for that plan, what's the point? So find that land first, and then start working on number two, the numbers, understanding the actual numbers of the deal. Is this a profitable situation? Is it going to make sense? Then 3, plans and design. And once you get the plans and design, you know that, hey, according to my budget, I can start bidding this out. It makes sense to number 2, the numbers, and it fits on the lot. You see, there's like the prerequisites. And then 4, I'm getting the permits. And 5, the financing for the build. Usually that's an owner-builder loan, construction to permanent. It typically is like a 31-year mortgage, 1 year to build it, interest only, and then 30 years just a regular mortgage. And then 6, build the actual house. He's right. Hold the builder to the schedule. Hold the builder to the budget. Make it easy and don't make too many changes or change orders. And then 7, move into it and sell it probably after 2 years is one of the best strategies for people that are entering this game and not trying to run an active business in construction. So absolutely agree with Dave. Big picture, he's on the money, and I like it. I'm surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised on his video. Like, share, subscribe, guys. I'll do more of these if you guys like them. Comment what you guys think, and we'll do some more.